Today on Q&J, to infinity and beyond. I scared Spock.
Q and J.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Q&J. Happy New Year. It is 2015 and no better way to celebrate 2015. I know we're a little late in the month. It's been a few weeks into 2015, but it's a good time for Q&J. You know, and I've had time today to film a Q&J, and it's time for Q&J. You know what? You got to get back on. My goal is to eventually get up to once every 2 weeks, because that way we get a good amount of comments without it being too repetitive and loopy. So I think that'll be really good. So I'll try to get that every other week. So let's get to the comments. As always, you guys let me tons of comments to get to, and let's address them. So Mark Keller says, thanks for the answer tip. In the time since then the NID player picked up the new models, and other friend got new Blood Angels. This is the gentleman who had problems getting games in. I found a common enemy for them, Necrons. I've played so many games in the past few weeks. That's excellent. I'm glad you're playing a lot of games now, Mark Keller. Made a nice scenario that would include both of them against me. Starting on turn 2, the NIDs are able to drop pod burrow up at least half the army. Bloodbath and laughs. I get destroyed, but I play for fun, and it's great to see everyone having fun. Can't wait for the weird boy you painted me. Keep up, always. I'm glad. I really hope you enjoyed the weird boy. He's orange. So let me know if you get him. I really hope you got him. Mark Keller. Lewis James 451 says, greetings Jay, I'm wondering what you think about running boys with heavy armor. I'm not sure what to do because I'm unsure about how well they run with a 6-up save, but at the same time I don't want to pay 10 points per boy. What do you think I should do? I've actually heard, I don't run with heavy armor, but mathematically it is actually quite nice. It depends on what points cost essentially. Because what I find is that when I'm playing 1500 point games and I want to get a bunch of boys in, I can't afford the 10 points per model. It's too expensive for orcs. Especially if you're running with the orc horde detachment, so if you have 3 squads of boys, it gets really expensive per boy. But if you're playing like an 18 or 50 point game, I wouldn't actually have a problem with, I'd actually recommend probably trying out Ardboys. Because Ardboys have a 4-up save. And most guns in the game don't have AP4 or better. You know what I mean? If you're firing a las cannon at Orc Boy, now obviously you're still just as susceptible to plasma cannons, you know, blast templates that are really good AP. But what I recommend is combining that with a custom force field, because then you have a 5-up invulnerable save and a 4-up armor save. Actually, they become quite viable. And the thing is, if you're just being fired up by bolters, which are the standard gun of Space Marines, for example, the odds of surviving a bolter fire from an Orc Boy, like they're going to go through their armor, versus they won't go through your armor if you're an Ard Boy. So you go from instantly dying via every shooting to 1 in every 2 die. You know, it'll save your guys, and it's only a 4-point increase. So for less than double the points, you get more than double the survivability. So it actually ends up being worth its value. My only problem is that at small points games, it's hard to pay 10 points per boy. So I think it would just depend on your point size and what your opponent is bringing. If you're up against Space Marines, you know, if you know you're up against an army that will have a lot of blast templates that are high strength, good AP, maybe not worth it. The other option I've been having a lot of fun with lately is bringing the WA Gauskal supplement and taking the really good custom force field that gives them a 4-up invulnerable save. Because then you get your 6 point per boy, and they survive because they have a 4-up invulnerable save wherever they go, providing you keep them coherency and, you know, around that mech boy, or the big mech. So that's another option. But as I said, they're actually quite viable. It just depends on what you're up against and your points costs. The larger the points cost, the more easy it is to bring them. Max Power says, haha, drop the bass. Yeah, I like that intro too. It was one of my favorite intros so far. The Lads Lounge says, Jay, you didn't answer the main question. Oh, I'm sorry. I will try to answer now. Do you think they will release other kits for other armies like they did for Tyranids, or at the very least release new plastic models for the other older resin fine cast models? Yes. So to answer your question, I very much think they will. Now, Tyranids were an interesting case, but Tyranids have actually gotten models multiple times outside of the Codex release, but the previous ones were models that existed in the Codex. Like when they got the new Turvagon, wow, am I a Tyranid player or what? And then they got new the Turvagon kits, for example. Those were years after their Codex release. The new Flyrant kit that's come on as the Swarmlord, years after the release. And then, of course, recently they got the new Drop Pod, new Zoanthropes, and the new Venomthrope kit, and a couple new monster creatures. So I definitely see that happening, actually. I think it'll be really good, especially if they disperse them. I think that'd be a great business strategy. Because every little while they come out with a new model, and there's new. This week's White Dwarf, I believe, is talking about the looted wagons again. So maybe we'll see a new looted wagon for orcs. It'd be cool. So I definitely see them doing that. It'd be a good business structure. Also, do you think I'm mad as I undercoat all my models by hand with a large brush? No. I used to actually do that. Now I use an airbrush to save a lot of time, but there's nothing wrong with that. If you like everything by hand, I respect that. Oh, and I've been thinking of making a shooty Tyranid army. Good luck. No, I'm kidding. Actually, it's quite viable. Madam Mini Wargaming had a good idea with Gaunts to have 20 with Devourers, yep, and you stick them in drop pods. And 10 with flesh boars at the front, so you can take off the cheaper boars first, yeah. Use them as a screen. As for non-psyker armies, before 7th edition was released, they said those that didn't have psychic abilities would have some way to counter it. Crypt are spelling? Cryptex, I believe you're talking about. For Necrons, war gear items, or homunculi creatures for Dark Eldar. Yeah, they really don't. Orcs are still terrible against Psykers. Sisters are bad. Dark Eldar, bad. Necrons, bad against Psykers. So I'm really hoping the new Necron Codex, which is apparently going to rumor today, I think later today, well, I'm filming this on Thursday, but on Friday, the rumors are that they're going to release the, Codex release, and then it'll come a week from tomorrow. So hopefully in the new Codex, they have a way to deal with Psykers, because they really don't. The Psykers walk all over Necrons. And it's kind of weird, because they should be immune to it, or get a better Deny the Witch or something like that, some special rules. Because I do find Psykers walk all over Necrons. I've been having some fun playing Necrons, and they are not good against Psykers. Yeah. Johnny Torrance says, two-parter. What do you think the Blood Angels didn't get a generic... Why do you think they didn't get a generic chapter master for successor chapters? I was wondering that exact thing. My only thought was maybe some supplement was going to come out in the near future, which creates one. That's what I'm hoping for, but I was actually quite surprised. I thought they were going to get a generic chapter master for successor chapters. I don't really know. I'm hoping that it's because in the future they have a plan for that. Also, ever thought about combining Q and J with painting with J? Maybe your wife can ask the Qs while you answer the Js. Actually, we did think about that, but the problem is I do Q and J when my wife's Q and J is filmed in the house when my wife's not here, busy, and painting with J I film when she's at work. So unfortunately, it just wouldn't work out too well. And she also doesn't like my workshop too much. I don't blame her, but yeah, we thought about that. It just wouldn't work out. It could work, but it's hard. And talking from previous experience, I do know that whenever like Owen or Dan, if they were trying to read the questions while painting, they got nothing done. So, but it's a very good suggestion, Johnny Torrance. I appreciate that. I think I'm going to keep them two different shows because I just ramble and paint in one, and I'll answer your questions in the other. No problem. Cosmic Soybean says, "Hey Jay, for my Fantasy 40k Demon Army, I decided to get a Prince, a Fate Weaver, Soul Grinder, Skull Cannon, 40 Demonettes, 20 Bloodletters, 10 Plague Bearers, 30 Flesh Hounds. I only spent $180. That's awesome. Do you know, which are fantastic since 5 Hounds are normally $6 alone. As I was about to say, Hounds are really expensive. I am planning on pairing them with an Eldar army. Cool. For the extra laughs, when Slanesh helps the Eldar kill their enemies. That's really bad, but I love it. Yeah, the Eldar should not be pairing with Slanesh. That's awesome. Do you know any good supplement missions that Eldar or Demons could use? The standard 40k missions are getting dull. The ones I would actually recommend, there was an old book. I remember it was called like Battle something. Let me look it up quickly. It was called Battle something. It's an old book. You probably can get it on eBay. But it had battle. I think it was called Battle Missions, and it actually had some interesting missions and ones for each army. And I remember reading it a few times. I should have picked it up. Maybe I'll get it for like on eBay or something. They don't sell on GW anymore. But that's one of the few things I remember. Either creating your own campaigns, or the battle missions actually had some interesting missions. And depending on whichever army you're playing, like if you're Eldar, for example, you roll, and then there's Eldar missions, and Eldar could be the attackers or the defenders, and they were kind of interesting scenarios. So I'd recommend going to check that out. Yeah, I think it was called Battle Missions. Yeah. But very nice purchase, Cosmic Soybean. That's awesome. A lot of models for not that much cost. $180. Gotta love it. Christopher Tucker says, Merry Christmas to you too, Jay. Have you got any idea why all the chapters with their own rules haven't got some key Space Marine items like Storm Talons or Centurions? Thanks as always. Yeah, they try to keep each group different, right? Each group has its own pros and cons, and it's just the vanillas that get Storm Talons and Centurions. And I was kind of surprised. I honestly thought that the Blood Angels were going to get Storm Talons, seeing as they got nothing. Like, they got no new flyers, no new anti-flyers, which was very surprising to me, seeing as the popularity of flyers in 7th edition. So, yeah, I kind of understand it, because each group gets their own pros and cons. You know, like Dark Angels got Deathwing, and Deathwing are awesome. They can be taken as troops. Blood Angels have the really cool guys that can feel no pain, and arguably my favorite set of HQs for character. Grey Knights, Force Weapons galore. So that's it. Just each group gets their own special things, and if you gave any of them, if you gave Grey Knights access to grav weapons, or Dark Angels I could see getting access to grav weapons, but they probably won't. Yeah. And plus, it does create, once again, because vanilla covers so many chapters that, it's good to give them some stuff. But yeah, that's basically it. They just want to keep each group getting their own special things with their own flavor. The problem is, if they gave some of these key new models, like Centurions with grav weapons, or they gave some grav pistols to the Blood Angels. But if they gave grav weapons or Storm Talons, the closer they keep these armies, the less people want to play the certain armies, because one of them then will become obviously better than the others, and people will just play that one if they're competitive and ignore the others. So, yeah. Table of War says, thank you, Jay, for being as entertaining as ever. Thank you. But as a question, what are your views on the 30k army rules from Forge World? Have you any experience with or against them? I have not. I would love to play against them, because there's the Mechanicus army I've seen before. Looks really cool. I don't have much experience with them, but apparently they're fun, and they can be pretty competitive as well from what I hear. But I have no personal experience with them. Thanks. Thank you from Table of Wargaming. Harry the 11th, Captain, Sons of Horus. Excellent. Mattias Matson says, hi Jay, greetings from Sweden, greetings from Canada. It's probably cold where both of us live. Two random cues that came to mind now. Have you tried Flames of War? Nope. The rules are far from perfect, but it's fun with some World War II action, and it has tanks, lots of tanks, and it's a far more affordable scale than 28mm. True. Yeah, I saw it a few times. It was never popular in this area or Welland or anywhere I played, so that's why I never tried it out. But it did look interesting. I'm more of a fan of futuristic 40k stuff because of the ability to do things out of the box. I kind of fall into that category where I would just be reenacting World War II games, and it would seem weird if the Nazis won in certain areas. I'd be like, they're not supposed to win. You know, that's the problem with playing historical things or themed things like Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. To me, the problem is because you'd be reenacting battles, and it would just seem really odd if the wrong outcome happened. I don't know. And do you have any tips for recreating the old Citadel ink chestnut ink? No, unfortunately not. I don't have much experience with the old inks. Or maybe some good equivalent. Old dog that I'm really having problems getting used to the new paints, and names are neither aggressive shade nor strong, soft dark tone from the paint. It comes anywhere to my mind. My old pal chestnut. Now, if you're looking for a specific color, I would actually recommend checking out Secret Weapon. Secret Weapon actually has a larger variety of washes and shades. I don't use them very often, but I have a couple, and they have a very wide variety of shades. You look at their colors, that actually might be the way to go. The other option I'd recommend is perhaps you could create your own shade. You could cut an oil paint, a similar color to your chestnut that you prefer, and use like mineral spirits or white spirits, depending on where you live, to thin it down and use it. The other, as I said, the other option I'd really recommend is checking out Secret Weapon washes, because they have a huge variety of colors, and you might actually find one closer to the color you're looking for. But thank you very much for your question, Mattias Matson. George Graham says, Jay, what do you think was the best edition of 40K, both in rules and enjoyment? To me, I actually... Oh, all right, to be fair, as far as enjoyment goes, I have enjoyed every version. I love 7th edition. 7th edition, to me, for enjoyment purposes, probably the top, because I love Maelstrom of War missions. I love the Psychic Phase. It's a fun version. I love 7th edition much more than 6th edition. As far as balance goes, I'd actually say 5th edition. 5th edition to me was the most streamlined and the best balance between close combat and shooting. I didn't play 3rd, and I played Rogue Trader. Rogue Trader was really fun, chaotic, and just, yeah. 4th edition was really geared towards the close combat oriented monsters. Like, Gene Stealers could bounce, because you used to be able to consolidate from combat. If you won a combat, you can consolidate into another combat. So Gene Stealers would just bounce around the table eating everything for breakfast, because they'd kill something and then bounce into the next squad, and you could never shoot them. So it was really geared towards close combat. 5th edition, I found, was a really good balance between close combat and shooting. Like, I'm an orc player, and I couldn't decide between shoot-a boys or sug-a boys. There was just great benefits to both sides. 6th edition and 7th edition are very much geared towards shooting. Since they brought back Overwatch, removal of models from the front, and they really changed rapid-fire weapons to make them amazing, it's much more geared towards shooting. And I don't like that as much balance. I really do think the most balanced edition was 5th. It was the best one for the tournament scene, I found. And it was fun as well. As far as fun goes, though, and enjoyment, 7th edition to me has been nothing but fun. 5th edition was fun, too. 4th edition was fun. I have fun with every edition. But 7th to me has been really fun and thematic. I really, as I said, Maelstrom of War missions, the more I play them, the more I love them. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, probably 7th for enjoyment. 5th for balance. Mattias Matson once again says, "Ha! I just finished the video. Loved your face when you mentioned Flames of War. Looking forward to hearing about that. Have you ever played Necromunda or Mordheim? Nope. I really missed those games. I really wanted to, and then, yeah, they were very short-lived. But God bless. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mattias Matson. I've never played them, actually. I wanted to. I always wanted to. Mini Warzone says, hi, Jay. Hope you have a great Christmas. Quick question. Can you ever see yourself doing a narrative campaign in the future? Definitely. Definitely. I have one in mind. I've been working on one kind of just a little bit here and there. The only problem, though, is finding someone to film with. So it might be my wife and I. Because I have enough of a few armies that I could do a campaign. And my wife and I could film it over a couple days. And I was thinking about it. I think it'd be kind of fun. But yes, I'm definitely thinking of trying one in the future. I know how popular they are at Mini Wargaming right now. But just right now, I don't have the time, unfortunately, to do it all around one consistent theme. I mostly just play here and there against people who are willing to play against me. Strange about all the sisters' interest, as I've been thinking of getting to them as well. But the metal miniatures put me off somewhat. I agree. Keep up the great work. I'm going to start my own painting challenge in the new year. Excellent. I hope it's going well. Roto Fury says, I feel the same way about Mini Warzone. I want to play As I said many times, the mixed Imperial Guard sisters seem really cool. I won't buy the metal miniatures though. They put me off. I'd rather plastic or resin. Yes, I am hoping and praying that they get some love this year. Maybe 2015 will be the year of the Sisters of Battle and everything will be fixed. Because I totally agree. They have to be the most underplayed army in 40k. And if they made them good and had great models, instantly people wanting to play them for years will play them. I think it would be the biggest resurgence of any army since maybe Dark Eldar, because Dark Eldar weren't very popular at all. Neither were Necrons, actually. But give them some love, and then they get love. Okay, here we go. Bowman Ruto. I think his name, I think it actually shows it's Bowman Ruto. Yes, Bowman Ruto. I think I mispronounced it last video. I apologize. Hey Jay, thank you very much for answering my question. I managed to get a PDF version of the Chaos Codex since I asked the original question, but I am still looking for a physical copy. One question, and one thing I really need to get off my chest before I ask the question. It's Bowman Ruto. Or Rutu. Bowman Ruto is what I'm thinking. Not Bowman Ratu. Sorry, but I'm getting mixed opinions on what colors I'm choosing for my Chaos Army. Because I am making them primarily black with small silver details. So you're going essentially Black Legion. Rivets and emblems with blue and red highlights. Cool. Red and blue for special detail. So my question is, what is your opinion on odd or unusual color schemes? Go for them. All the time. I always recommend unusual color schemes. Especially with an army like Chaos or Space Marines, Tyranids, Orcs. Go with your own color scheme. Have a great time. You don't need to fit into the boxes of everyone else. And going with your own color scheme adds another layer of originality. You can come with your own backstory, your own characters, and have a great time doing it. I highly love them. I love armies that are painted in their own theme. Also, I'm not very worried about getting hate for my army because I got one of my friends in Warhammer 40k and he's playing Chaos Demons and he painted them pink and rainbow colors and calls them the Chaos Demons. Ooh, yeah, he's getting the hate. Yeah, he's getting the hate. Wargamer Sean. So Sisters got a White Dwarf update in 5th edition and then a digital in 6th. I agree. It's still not that good. Nope. I've been playing them again for the last month. Check out my battle reports. Everyone, so Wargamer Sean. Battle reports. But I agree, they need some love. Please check out Wargamer Sean YouTube channel. Thanks, Jay. No problem. I will definitely check out Wargamer Sean. And everyone, Wargamer Sean. I hoped that the Leviathan books would give them love, but no, just fluff stuff. Happy holidays. All. Let me just double check. Is his name Wargamer Sean? No, you're going to have to go to the comment section and click on Wargamer Sean. His YouTube channel is a bunch of letters. Or you can just look up Wargamer Sean, I guess. That's the other option. Robbie Keith says, I've literally been waiting for Plastic Sisters models since 2004. Yeah. 10 years. Come on, GW. Also, has anybody seen those new rat models? They're kind of funny for the new models for Warhammer Fantasy. They look really futuristic, a little bit too 40k-ish in my opinion, but they're interesting. The giant rat guys with guns. Rotofurious says, thank you, Jay, for the reply. Yeah, I agree. I want to do some conversion mostly for fun. Anyways, the question I had is I was wondering what product you use to remove paint. I use Simple Green. I have seen a few methods of doing the removing, e-toothbrush, ultrasonic cleaner. However, I have no idea what product to use. To remove paint from models, I use Simple Green. From an airbrush, I use Badger airbrush cleaner. But thank you very much for your question, Rotofury. Master Dwellin says, hi Jay. I wish a Merry Christmas time to you. Thank you very much, Master Dwellin. I hope you enjoyed The Last Hobbit as well. I liked it. It is so good to see you return to Q&J. This is one of my favorite show on your channel. Thank you very much. You also liked Painting with Jay, though. And that's good. It's back to. My Q is now. What are your hobby plans for 2015? Paint as much as I frickin' can. Basically, each month is going to have a painting challenge. And I'm going to try to paint as much as I can this year. I want to paint everything. Tyranids are first. I want to have a couple armies more than what I have now. We'll see. It's going to be a fun challenge, but painting. I'm going to paint a lot. We know that you love Malifaux Infinity as well. Are you planning to start these systems next year? Possibly. I'm painting them as I go. By then I'm going to have a painted army. I'm waiting right now because a couple people in the Peterborough area want to get into Infinity. They're just learning the rules right now for the 3rd edition. And so I'm hopefully going to get into that soon. And Malifaux I'm trying to connect with. It doesn't seem like Malifaux is really catching on in this area, but I'll try it out for sure as well. I think my wife and I are going to play some games. I got to get some models painted up. And my wife likes the idea of cheating in cards. So I think that's going to be a really fun game for her to play. She loves the idea of the cheating cards. So thank you, and keep up the good work. Thank you very much. By the way, and just so you guys know, in Malifaux, it's actually called cheating. It's not actual cheat. It's called cheating. So okay, Yalagon Yagaroth, I think that's how you pronounce your name. Probably Yalagon Yagaroth. I apologize if I mispronounce it. I'm terrible with names. Or it could be Jalagon Jagaroth. Merry Christmas, Jay. Merry Christmas to you too, Mr. Yagaroth or Jagaroth. Really glad I found this channel. I used to love the stuff when you did Mini Wargaming Guys and was sad when you left as I didn't see that you were setting up your own channel. I'm slowly catching up with the 7th month of uploads, so keep up the good work. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I was a YouTuber actually before. The Warp is new since I left Mini Wargaming. But I've actually been making videos on YouTube for about 3.5 years. It's actually got me the job at Mini Wargaming. I was a YouTuber and Dave just liked my tutorials and liked the sound of my voice. And he offered me a job. I never actually applied. But it was really good. I'm very glad you like my channel. The Canis Lupus. I think we have a Space Wolves fan. The Canis Lupus, 1396. 1 good troops against vehicles are Necron warriors. Auto glance on a roll to 6. Yep. They're solid. They're a great choice against any vehicle, essentially. But you need a lot of them. You really do. Because if you think about it, if you're up against a Land Raider with 4 hull points, and they have no cover, straight shots at them, it takes 24 hits on average, 6 to glance, to kill it. But 24 hits is 36 shots. And that's 18 rapid firing Necron warriors to kill a Land Raider. And you need to be within 12 inches. So otherwise it's 36 warriors shooting at a tank. So it takes a lot, but they are semi-decent. But thank you very much for your comment, Canis Lupus. The Darkmoor says Trigon Prime plus Endless Swarm with Dev Guns are really nice. Well, if it all plays out good. Very good point. I like Trigon Primes. I am a huge fan of Trigon Primes, not Trigons. Because Trigon Primes are Synapse, they have better shooting, and if you're going to bring a giant monstrous creature, it better have Synapse or be a Carnifex Brood. Because Synapse keeps everyone in gear, and you just... Dev Gods. I'm going to keep playing. I'm going to try them out again because they're, 3 shots each. Nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty stuff. Bradley McDuff says, hey, Jake. Wanted to know your opinion on the new Dark Angels Librarium Conclave datasheet. I haven't actually reviewed it yet. I should do a review on that. Thank you very much for reminding me. I'll do a review on that in the near future. Thank you very much. Alfarius or Omegon says, no, that poor base. Anyway, Jay, I just want to say hey and hope you have a good day. Same to you, Alfarius Omegon. Yeah, it's pretty funny, the base. I found it eventually. It went under my chair. Brown Tao says, thanks, Jay. Yep, setting up a deadline, either through challenges or prep for a tournament to get back into painting really helps. As exactly. Set challenges to yourself or deadlines. Tournaments to me are the key. If you go to tournaments that require painted models, that will get you up to snuff for your painting. Did I bring my drink in here? No. It'll get you up to snuff for your painting jobs. It will. It'll force you to paint your models, and they'll be good to go. As for sisters, I don't get why GW doesn't support them. I don't know either. They're a no-brainer. 99% male target market and female minis with guns. I don't know. And that's actually, it brings up a valuable point. Now, I had this discussion last year at Adepticon with several Obviously, I don't want to alienate my audience or anything. And women wargamers exist, and we shouldn't treat them special because they're women. But women are much more predominant in War Machine and Hordes than 40k. And one of the theories, I had this discussion with Wargamer Girl last year, and one of the theories behind this is because women are not really, there's no really respectable women models in 40. There's a couple, but not very many. Versus War Machine and Hordes, where many of, like arguably 5 out of the top 10 casters or warlocks are women, and the top 3 are women. And it's just, that was one of her theories of why many women like War Machine and Hordes over 40k. It was just because there's no love to the female models. So it's an interesting point. I don't know as I necessarily think about it, but I can understand that point. And as I said, we should not alienate the audience or alienate women wargamers because they're women or anything like that. It's just a very interesting theory. And those guys like them too. Mm-hmm. House of Geek says, "Hey Jay, Merry Christmas to you. Thank you very much from Derbyshire, England. Mm-hmm. Merry Christmas to you too. My question is about Dark Eldar. Is the Dark Eldar formation in their codex? You must take 1 HQ, 2 troops, and a fast attack. Yes. And all troops get a 5-up cover save, and everything else gets 6-up cover save and night fighting. True. Does stealth stack on top of this? Yes. Also, I believe it does. I believe it should. Stealth and Shrouded usually do stack on top of these. Ooh, Shrouded will. I don't know about Stealth. I'll have to think about that one. Because if you guys know the answer to this, please leave a comment in the comment section. But let me see what the rules are. But I'm guessing it would. Because night fighting... Let me see the wording of night fighting. Because I think it would. 135. All about the bass. No treble. Here we go. Night fighting. Ooh, all units have stealth. But the Dark Eldar Codex specifically doesn't... It depends. If the Dark Eldar Codex uses the term stealth, it wouldn't stack with stealth. But if it doesn't use the term stealth, I could actually see it stacking. Because stealth just stacks with most things that don't involve stealth. Yeah, I wonder if they've FAQ'd it. I have some time, so I'm looking this up right now. It's kind of fun. Let's see the other one. Let's see if they put out an FAQ lately. I don't think they have. Nah, it's taking a while. My internet is very slow because I'm uploading other videos. But I think it might. I think it might stack, depending on the wording. If it specifically says they obtain stealth, then no. But I don't think they've used stealth, and in that case, stealth would stack. Yeah. Or behind cover? Yeah. I think it would. Gray Death Angel says, "Hey Jay, do you know any good brush on primers and varnishes?" No. That's the thing. I was thinking about some, and I can't really think of any brush on primers or varnishes. GW used to have a line of both of them. I think GW still has primer, but I don't use it, unfortunately. I use airbrush for both, unfortunately. Yeah, I can't think of any. Working on a Dreadnought-themed army with Astromilitarum allies. Excellent. And wouldn't want to wait till summer to get painting. I can't find a decent compressor without loads of noise or blowing up less than a month after I've got it. That's not good. And it's too cold or humid for aerosols. Aerosols are very temperamatic. Temporary. Yeah. Oh, and I'd definitely be collecting sisters when they release the plastic infantry form. Good day, Dave. Thank you very much, Great Death Angel. Unfortunately, I can't think of any that come to my mind. Yeah. Yeah, I can't think of any. No, fortunately not for our models. Andrew McCormick says, "Hi Jay, I've just heard on the underground grapevine that the Necrons in January, yep, will be, wait for it, here comes, Harlequins." Yeah, I've heard that too. Harlequins might be getting a new codex. That'll be interesting. I can see them getting a supplement. So I'm already drooling, as the rumor says, several new plastic kits and new jet bikes. Cool. Harlequin jet bikes would be nice. Yeah, and Black Tom says, who knows how they will make the hollow shields work, but yeah, it will be interesting to see if they give them some cheap troop choice or keep the expensive elite close combat units. Very good point, because they did do that with the homunculi grotesque, the homunculus coven supplement, that they were just elites, no troops. So we'll see what they do with Harlequins. Andrew McCormick says, gelato equine is apparently what Harlequins changes to. Through autocorrect on my iPhone. Gelato equine. So horse ice cream containing no milk. I'd try it. Once to say I did. Black Tom says, Jay, when Chapter Tactics came out in the 6th edition Space Marine Codex, I was really excited by the possibilities and disappointed that GW did not do anything like this for Orc clans, Imperial Guard regiments, Chaos Space Marines, Craft Worlds, etc. I was completely surprised too. The early rumors had it for Orcs that they were going to get their own true, like Blood Angel. The Bad Moons would get a rule. The Evil Suns would get a rule. Yeah, but I was very shocked about that too. I know Space Marines do represent the majority of the sales, especially Vanilla Marines, but I was kind of shocked. Yeah, but to be fair, they kind of changed their way of writing after that codex. You know, the 7th edition codices aren't written in the same fashion as the 6th. But yeah, possibly just make new codices for old armies. I can honestly believe that Gene Stealer cult armies, maybe even Squats, Sisters. Squats would be amazing. And Sisters, yeah. I can see that too. They're running out of codices to update. So maybe we'll see some cool groups coming up. Thing is, making a ton of different books is an expensive prospect. I love the idea of a Chaos Marine chapters getting codices, for example, but can GW really afford this? Is there enough diversity in the other armies, Tau, Necrons, Nids, to do the same? Each one of those could get a supplement, because they already have supplements, right? There's Farside Enclave, for Tyranids, maybe they'll get one eventually. Necrons, I don't think so. But yeah, I could see them doing that. The more books they release, the more they divide, the more people will still buy them. You know, and books aren't that expensive to make. If you're doing an edition every 4 years, you get an update. So, yeah. And they charge a lot for books, and especially e versions. Timonius says, if Sisters of Battle get plastic release, I would collect them. So would I. They are a close-range shooty army with power armor. I reckon that they would be good for holding objectives, while my Imperial Guard focus on killing everything. Yeah. If they stay away, the Guard blows the opponent off the board, the Sisters are shot at their relatively cheap points cost, and power armor would absorb shots and would kill my humble Guardsmen. Yep, that's true. Please, GW, let my dream come true. They cost so much at the moment. I agree, Timonius. I agree. And Dark CT says that base drop was pretty good. Got me rolling. Excellent. I'm glad you appreciate Dark CT. Well, seems everyone is asking questions, so I might as well. Sure. This is coming from someone who didn't start 40k because of how hard it is to build up Sisters. Dang it, give us plastic models. The other day I was debating maybe building an army. The initial intent is for a small inquisitory force, Xenos, Hybris, Radicals, and maybe a rogue assassin. Good idea. Then either expand upon it or add either Imperial Guard, most likely, Adeptus Mechanicus. If the rumor people have been whispering turn out to be true, Angry Marines, Standard Space Marine Codex with account as BT chapter most likely. So Black Templars. Although they probably eviscerate my Inquisitor. Oops. Or any Iron Hands chapter. Yeah, I love Iron Hands. They're cool too. I'm going to probably go Imperial Fists. But Ferris Manus. I know this is a loaded question, but would you recommend this idea? Which way would you personally take it? And is there any merit in the idea of going pure Inquisition? Yes, there is. Inquisition armies can actually be quite competitive. Jokera weaponsmiths can be really nasty from a distance, but they're very expensive. Inquisitor is probably the most expensive group you're putting together because a lot of it is direct order from GW, and the models are harder to come upon. But it is possible, and I've actually seen some quite competitive lists that no one sees coming with Inquisitor. And plus, when you go up against Inquisitor, you can get henchmen, and henchmen have a lot of chain. Like, you can combine the weirdest henchmen into one group, put them in a tank. It's very viable. And Inquisitor Cotiez is arguably one of my favorite for points costs. He's one of my favorite HQs in the game. So I would probably start with Inquisitor. Make a small Inquisitor force. Smart, and then expand wherever you wish. Imperial Guard and Inquisition work very well together from what I've seen. So if you really like Imperial Guard, I'd go in that direction. Because they're fun, and they have a similar feel, and they work very well together. And it was a rough task, but something would appeal, especially if later winds up the sisters get a new print run. I could use them with sisters. That's true. And Inquisition can work with anyone. That's a great thing about them. Inquisition with sisters would be really fun too, but Inquisition Imperial Guard would really match up well too. So, yeah. Thank you very much for your question, Dark CT. I hope this answers your question. I'd personally go Imperial Guard, Inquisition. I find that Inquisition work well. They worked well with Grey Knights, but they were just really cheap choices. They work well with Space Marines. The Space Marines can do a lot of the stuff they do too. They really do fulfill the same traits. So I find that the Inquisition and Imperial Guard are a very good match. Falherk says, "Hey Jay, I was wondering about your video audio setup. What camera do you use for battle reports, and do you use a separate audio solution, or are you using on-camera audio? Love the drop the bass bit. Thank you, Rich." And Falherk, this has been coming up a lot lately. So, number one, I don't use any microphones. Mini Wargaming does. Mini Wargaming uses Sennheiser lapel mics. I use the straight audio from my camera. I don't use a separate output. The reason being is I have good acoustics in my house. My battle report room is very quiet, and this room is pretty good too. So I can typically get away with minimizing the, I don't need to worry about the interference of outside sound. My camera is a Canon Vixia HFR 300. It's not the most expensive camera. It's only a couple $100, but it is a 720p HD camera, and has no internal. So you got to buy a card for it because it doesn't come with a card. For my lighting, I use a standard kit from a green screen kit. You know, the ones with the two side ones. Like, I'll show you. Here we go. This is my green screen kit. That is, let's go over here so you can see, so it's not blinding. This is one of the lights right here. So it's one of the standard lights you get from a green screen kit, and that's essentially it. I have two of those that come in from the sides, and an overtop one, and I use that to go over my battle report table, and I put both of them from the side. And that's it. That's all the equipment I use when filming battle reports, other than this tripod that I'm using. So tripod, my Canon Vixia HFR 300 camera, my lighting kit, as I said, two sides, one over top, and I don't use any lapel mics. As far as video editing, I use a combination of Adobe Premiere Pro and Sony Vegas. And Silent82 Hill says, "Hello Jay, I have 20 World Bearer Berserkers with bolt pistols, chainswords, and axes. This is not enough for me, and I've decided to make my army more fluffy. I added a squad of World Bearers with bolt guns and 5 World Bearer Terminators. Is it possible to use some heavy weapons in my army or not?" I'd say so. World Bearer, yeah. World Bearer Obliterators would be kind of fun. Yeah. I'd say that. World Bearer Deafy? That'd be good too. Oh yeah, so it's totally up. You totally can. I know the whole idea of Khorne Berserkers, but close combat weapons is not enough for me. That's it. Unfortunately, close combat is not where it's at, and Khorne Berserkers are not they're not the most competitive option right now. Plague Marines are, but obviously you don't want to combine the Plague Marines with them. Maybe, yeah, I'd go with some Obliterators. Because if you already have Terminators, maybe some not Mutilators, they're not firing. But Obliterators are good. Deafy, he has some great firepower. Defiler. And it goes well because then they'll destroy things as the Corn Berserkers run up the field and attack everything. That's the thing. Corn Berserkers are really fun. They're themed. I really love Corn Berserkers, but they're just, and Carmen the Betrayer as well. He's fun, really fun to run. But they're just not as competitive right now because they run around the battlefield and they die a lot in drones before they get to their opponent. By the way, have you heard about the new Bloodthirster model and corn supplement coming? I've heard that there's a new Bloodthirster model. I haven't seen pictures of it, and I don't think there's any leaked pictures at the time of this filming. I'll double check afterwards. And yeah, the corn supplement, it's been rumored for a while, but who knows? It's a very good thing. I think I could totally see it coming out because they've already done Black Legion, I believe. So yeah, Corn Berserkers would be very cool. So that's it. Those are all the comments today in today's Q&J. I really hope you enjoyed the comments. Please leave more questions. Leave me more comments to Jay in the future. You know, more Q's to Jay. This one had a good amount, and I'll probably have a new episode out in about 2 weeks, and we'll do it every other week kind of thing. It'll be good. So thank you very much, all you people out there, for wishing me a good year and for leaving comments and having a great discussion in the comment section. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave more comments in the comment section about anything you want more to add, anything you want to add to what I'm saying, any new questions, and I'll do my best to answer them in the next Q&J. So stay tuned for the next episode. Until next time, this is Jay saying, happy painting.